Welcome back, my dear students. We will discuss on protochordates. What are the characteristics and classifications of subphylum Urochordata and Cephalochordata up to classes with suitable examples. What are the protochordates? The subphylum Hemichordata, Cephalochordata, and Urochordata, they include relatively simple animals which do not have brain and brain box, hence they are collectively called acraniates. And the members included in this category, they have similarities to the possible ancestor of the vertebrates, hence they are called protochordates. And the subphylum Craniata or vertebrata, they are the advanced animals and they have cranium or brain box. Now the positions of Hemichordata in the animal kingdom remains controversial. Initially, it was thought to be an annelida, but later it was included in the phylum Chordata. Still, later workers gave an independent phylum status to Hemichordata. The acronorms of the phylum Hemichordata, they possesses pharyngeal gill slits and a poorly developed and in some cases hollow dorsal nerve cord. That is considered near to the chordates in phylogeny. However, they lack notochord and in other ways they are different from the chordates. So nowadays they are under the category of independent phylum status, that is a phylum Hemichordata. Now, what are the classifications scheme of the Urochordata? We will discuss. Urochordata are commonly known as tunicata. They are also known as tail chordates. Why they are tail chordates? Actually, the notochord that is restricted to the tail in the larva. So that's a group known as the tail chordates. And why they are known as a tunicata? The name tunicate, that is suggested by usually tough non-living tunic or taste that is surrounding the animal and that contains cellulose. Most are sessile animals that contain about 2000 species. Some are also pelagic and some are also feature feeders. The body is covered with a leathery gelatinous coat that is tunic or the taste, often bright in color. The tunic serves for protection and support also. There is highly developed perforated pharynx, but the notochord and nerve cord are absent in the adult. Notochord and nerve cord are absent in the adult. Chordate characters are present only during free-swimming larval stage. During adult metamorphosis, the notochord that is restricted to the tail in the larva, hence the group name Urochordata. We already mentioned. Now the tail disappeared while the dorsal nerve cord becomes reduced to form a single ganglion. Metamorphosis in most cases retrogressive metamorphosis in nature. Why it's a retrogressive metamorphosis? Because that the adult metamorphosis notochord that is restricted only to the larva only. In the adult conditions, they are not present. And another characteristic features, the dorsal nerve cord that is also reduced to single ganglion. So the characteristic features are present in the larval conditions, not present in the adult conditions. So that's a retrogressive metamorphosis. And mostly are the hermaphrodite animals. The larva looks like a microscopic tadpole larva. Now subphylum Urochordata is divided into three classes as per the classification schemes of the JZ Young. What are the class? Class Acidacea, class Thaliacea, and class Larviacea. Acidacea, it's coming from the Greek word ascalon, that is a little back-like structure. The structure is a little back-like structure, and that is also known as a sac animals, and that included typical acidians, that is sea squids. Majority are found in shallow water, attached to rocks, sails, sea bottoms, etc. And they are solitary or colonial in nature. The body is sac-like and that contain two openings. One is a mouth and another is an attribute, that is a mouth. And you see here that is a attribute, so body has a two opening. They are ciliary mucus feeder and pharynx with endostyle. Pharyngeal gill slits are numerous in number. Feeding depends on formation of mucus net that is secreted by the glandular group, that is the endostyle. The endostyle, you see here, that is the endostyle that is located along the mid-ventral side of the pharynx. And presence of tunic, that is the characteristic features of the Acidacea. In case of the Acidiaceae, the tunic is a thick and tough in nature, and tunic consists of scattered muscle fibers. Now, these are the examples of the Acidiaceae. This is the Acidia, this is a Hartmannia, this is a Mulgula, this is a Kyona. All figures are collected from Google image. Next class, Thaliacea. The Thaliacea, it's a luxuriance animal. So why they're luxuriance? Because they have the luminous organ and they produce a brilliant color. So the Thalia, coming from Greek word luxuriance, and they are the pelagic tunicates that found only usually in the warm water. The body is barrel-shaped structure or lemon-shaped structure. The mouth and artiopode are situated at the opposite end of the body. Here, the characteristic features of the tunic, that is a thin and transparent. And tunic consists of characteristic circular muscle bands that enabling the animal to shoot through the water by the jet propulsion mechanism. The pharynx is perforated by limited number of the gill slits. The pharynx is perforated by the limited number of gill slits. The life history involves a remarkable phenomena, that is the alteration of the sexual and asexual generation that is found among Patacordates. Now, these are the examples of the Thaliacea. This is the Salpa, this is the Doliolum, this is the Pyrosoma, that's a night view that produces brilliant color. It's a class Larvaceae. Larva mean ghost, and actually they are the immature forms. They include small mucinous tunicates, and a true test covering is lacking. There is no cellulose tunic, but surface epidermis that secretes gelatinous materials that's to surround the body. So in case of the Acidiaceae, and in case of the Thaliacea, and in case of the Larvaceae, the tunic characteristics are distinct. In case of the Acidiaceae, tunic is thick and tough in nature. They consist of scattered muscle fibers, whereas in case of the Thaliacea, the tunic is thin and transparent. The tunic consists of characteristic circular muscle bands. Whereas in case of the Larvaceae, true tunic that is absent. There is no cellulose tunic, but the surface epidermis secretes gelatinous material to surround the body. And other than tunics, what are the characteristic features? Presence of a highly developed tail that is supported by prominent notochord serving for locomotion, nutrition, and in building of the house. Artiopode is absent and there is no atrium. Pharynx has 2 gill slits and endostyle is also present. They are also pedomorphic in nature. They are sexually mature animals, have retained the larval body form of their evolutionary ancestors. They build a delicate house that is unique in the animal world, and that serves for the filter feeding. That is a beautiful house, and that is produced by the member of the Larvaceae. It is a transparent hollow sphere of the mucus that is interrelated with filter feeders and the passage through which the water enters. The food particles, you see here, the food particles are trapped on a filter feeder inside the house that's drawn into the animal's mouth. If you see the mouth, then the mouths have a straw-like tubes. With the help of the straw-like tube, they engulf the food. And when the filter becomes clogged with debris and the waste products, they abandon its house and they again build a new house. These are the examples of the Larvaceae, Oikopleura, and Appendiculata. The figures collected from Google image. Now, this is subphylum Cephalochordata. Cephalochordata is also known as Acrania. Actually, cephalus mean head and chorda mean cord. They are the cylinder. They are the cylinder-like structure. The body is laterally compressed. Translucent animals, they commonly known as lancets due to shape of the body. They are the typical chordates. Why they are typical chordates? They retain all the chordate characteristics throughout the lives. They are chordates, but without vertebral column and cranium. You know what are the chordates features? Basically, the 5 characteristic features that are the hallmark features of the chordates. What are the features? Gill slits that are present in the wall of the pharynx, at least the embryo or larva. and that is maybe not present throughout the lives. Then characteristic features, a skeletal supporting rod, notochord, that is present at least in the early embryo of the vertebrates, in the larval tunicates, whereas throughout the lives, that is present in case of the cephalopods. And there is another important feature, a dorsal, hollow, tubular nerve cord that is found in all groups, though it is lost in case of the adult Uropods. And another feature, a tail that is present behind the posterior opening of the digestive tract, again in all embryos, even in those groups in which it is lost in the adult condition. And another feature, endostyle, that is present in the floor of the pharynx, that's or it is modified into the thyroid gland that's derived from the endostyle. So these features, gill slits, notochords, nerve cord, tail, and endostyles, these are the hallmark features of the chordates. And the cephalochordates are the typical chordates because they retain all chordate characteristics feature throughout the line. They are the chordates, but without vertebral column and cranium. They have no also brain box. The body is segmented into V-shaped myotomes, that's the myomeres, that helps for lateral undulations of the movement during swimming, and myotomes are separated from one another by dense connective tissue septa. That tissue septa is known as a myocomas. The gill slits are also many, that's open into the atrium. The blood is colorless without any respiratory pigment, and cephalochordates bear some specialized features, some advanced features, and some primitive characteristic features. And what are the specialized features? Notochord is extended up to the anterior tip region, hence the name cephalochordata. Why? Its name cephalochordata. Notochord is extended up to the anterior tip region, so that's known as a cephalochordata. Then another features, the ciliary mucus feeding habits that are the characteristics wheel organ or rotatory organ or ciliated organ of the molar. The organ produces a welling current of water to sweep the food matters into the mouth, and also presence of hepatic portal system in the circulations. That features are the specialized characteristic features. Now, what are the advanced characteristic features? Presence of hepatic cecum, that is a diverticula that resembles to the vertebrate pancreas that's secreting digestive enzymes. And what are the primitive characteristic features? Presence of protonephridia with flame cells, that is excretory organ, and that's a single layer of the epidermis. And sexes are the separate, development is direct without any larval stages. And these are the examples of the cephalochordata, branchiostoma and asymetron. What are the differences in between the branchiostoma and asymetron? In case of the branchiostoma, the gonads are serially present, biserial gonads, whereas in case of the asymetron, the gonads are only in the right side of the body. So that's a asymetron, asymetron. Now, what are the features of the vertebrata? Actually, the most prominent of the phylum Chordata is subphylum Vertebrata. And the most important characteristics of the vertebrate is the evolution and the primitive axial skeleton, that is a notochord that develops into skull and vertebral column. In addition, most organ systems of the vertebrates are more highly developed in comparison to the protochordates. And what are the features of the vertebrata? They are bilateral symmetrical, have two pairs of paired jointed locomotory appendage, maybe fin, maybe limbs. In some cases, limbs are not present. In case of the snake, internally segmented. The skeletal, muscular, and nervous systems are highly metameric. Coelom, always well developed. They divided into pericardial cavity and pleural cavity. Internal skeleton is well developed of cartilage or bone consisting of axial skeleton and appendicular skeleton, axial skeleton and appendicular skeleton. Integument, basically two divisions, epidermis and dermis. Outer is the epidermis and inner portion is the dermis. Now epidermis and dermis is again divided into so many layers. So many modification of the skins occurs, scales, feather, claw, nail, hooves, beaks, etc., etc. And some glands are also present. That's also the integument derivatives. And highly developed brain. The brain is divided into forebrain, midbrain, and hindbrain. and presence of skull and also nerve cord, that is enclosed by the vertebrae. 10 to 12 pairs of the cranial nerves presence, and well-developed sense organs, eyes, ears, nostrils are present on the whole head regions, and closed circulatory system, that's a ventral muscular pumping organ presence, that is the heart, and digestive tract with two major digestive glands, liver and pancreas. Blood with red blood corpuscles that's containing the hemoglobin, and genital and excretory systems are closely related. Excretory system consists of paired glomerular kidney that provided with ducts to drain waste to the cloaca. Now, subphylum Vertebrata is again divided into two superclasses based on presence or absence of the jaw. Superclass Agnatha and superclass Gnathostomata. The Agnatha, that includes some primitive vertebrates in which there are no jaw. Nowadays, the group is represented by lampreys and hagfises. They are together known as cyclostomes. The mouth is simple cup-like structure surrounded by tentacles or an adhesive disc. True teeth are absent in the mouth. Tooth-like structure formed from conified epithelium may be present. Median fins are present and are supported by cartilaginous rays. Paired fins are absent, and presence of only single median external nostrils. And the Gnathostomata includes the advanced vertebrates from fish to mammals. The mouth is always surrounded by jaws, probably evolved from bar cartilage, and that is supported. The anterior gills and true teeth are typically present on the jaw. Paired appendages are typically present either in the form of the fins or in the form of the limbs. Nostrils are typically paired. And these are the reference books, basically the classification scheme based on the life of vertebrates, J.J. Young. Another books are Comparative Anatomy of the Vertebrates, Saxena and Saxena. Another books, Biology of the Animals, Volume 2, and Integrated Principle of the Zoology, Hickman et al. Thank you, everybody.